Hello, Nori here. Welcome to another episode of Love in Deep Space. Why, yes, you are seeing my PNG VTubing avatar, which is inspired, by the way, from my own MC. And yes, I am live at MC's Hunters Association apartment, and Xavier's snoring upstairs. But we shall ignore him because we have a brand new discussion on our hands. Not a dull day in this fandom, you guys. Not a dull day in this fandom. I thought I would be catching a break. I thought I'd be like, hey yo, what's up? I'm done with the serious topics. But no, apparently we can never catch a break because there's a lot happening, and this next video, this video is about that discussion. We are jumping into this discussion. This discussion is about feminism tradition in Otome games. So yeah, it's a heavy duty topic, and we're going to jump right into it. Now, what started as a minor disagreement and difference in opinions and perspectives over this Reddit post on last tweet ended up sparking a great, big, layered and passionate debate about feminism, about agency and tradition within female-centered media spaces like Otome games. And to understand this discourse, I believe that we must look beyond surface reactions and try to critically assess both sides while holding space for nuance. Because it's very easy to jump to conclusions at first glance, and trust me, I found myself doing the same thing, and then I had to take a step back and just remind myself that, hey, let us just think about this more deeply. Let us look at this through a lens of empathy as well as more deeper understanding of what is being said on both sides. So for clarity's sake, I will divide this into two sides, right? Person A and person B, or team A and team B, because there are two opposing sides of the discussion. So team A, which is the feminist critique of the wedding banner, the one who posted on Reddit. Let us see what they're saying, right? So they say that their side says that they're uncomfortable with how the wedding banner portrays the MC. Now they argue that the visual, that is, the male love interest, taking the MC's hand and leading her while she looks down and follows, echoes outdated patriarchal tropes. For them, it reduces the MC to a decoration, a passive participant in her own story, reinforcing the same dynamics that historically framed women as silent accessories in romance and marriage. Now, this discomfort is rooted in feminist critique, questioning the reputation of narratives that present women as voiceless, passive, or lacking autonomy, even within the fantasy spaces. And now we look at the other side, which is Team B. Now they are defending autonomy and traditional fantasy. So this side argues that dismissing or critiquing the wedding banner in this way risks becoming anti-feminist itself. Feminism, they argue, is fundamentally about choice. So if a woman desires traditional romance, classic courtship, or even fairy tale aesthetics of a Western wedding, she has the right to indulge in that fantasy without being shamed. In this view, women reclaim traditional symbols on their own terms, not as passive participants, but as individuals exercising autonomy within both real life and fictional spaces. So these are the two sides. And both these sides engage with feminist ideals, but their interpretations are different. So one critiques symbolic representations that may perpetuate gender imbalance, while the other defends the freedom to choose traditional romance. Now, at the heart of this discourse lies an important but an overlooked truth. We're talking about otome games. Now, otome games themselves operate within the space of both tradition and agency. These games cater predominantly to straight female audiences, or anyone else if so they choose to play. Whatever your gender or not, or orientation or not, you are free to play. I'm just going by the definition of what otome games are and who they cater to predominantly. Alright, now that I have that in the clear, these otome games offer immersive romance-filled experiences with classic tropes, protective male leads, soft courtship, grand gestures, and yet they provide players the autonomy to navigate the story as they choose. Otome games thrive on allowing women to engage with traditional romance, but on their own terms. It is essential to recognize that many women who enjoy traditional gender roles like marriage, motherhood, soft courtship, not because they're oppressed, but because they've chosen these paths freely. It was their choice. The female gaze does not reject tradition entirely. It reclaims and reshapes it. So, if a woman desires a traditional wedding or enjoys being cherished, she can still maintain her independence and agency. Now, the visual of a male love interest taking the MC's hand during a wedding scene may evoke discomfort for some, because it's somewhat rooted in historical power imbalances. But here, context also matters. Now, I'll give you an example from my own personal life. Alright? When I see these videos of couples getting married and they're like in this big, space, in this wedding hall filled with people and guests and stuff, and they're lifting the veil and they're about to kiss the bride, and generally there's a lot of ho-ha, a lot of this nonsensical chatter going on, like they try to tease and stuff. Sometimes I just hate that. I really hate that. I hate when their comments also, oh, now the groom is going to come and kiss you or something like that. Or they're, people just gawk at you and you're like just really uncomfortable. Like, please, can you just stop it? And I kind of hate that personally. This is a little personal thing that I'm just putting in between this essay. That I hate that. So that itself is also like me rejecting some part of tradition, but not all of it. So I just wanted to put in that little example of me wanting to reject some form of tradition, but then there are still some forms of tradition that I like. That is a story time for another video, when I will speak about my personal experiences. Not that I'm married, I'm single. Okay. I'm just saying what the stuff that I like and I don't like. Anyways, back to the essay. Where was I? But context matters. Within the narrative of the game, the MC consents to the relationship and the wedding. The imagery then does not symbolize ownership or passivity unless the audience projects that meaning onto it. Love, even when wrapped in tradition, is about mutual choice. The wedding does not occur without the MC's desire and consent. Yet, the discomfort some feel is valid. And of course, it is valid to some extent as well. It stems from the historic baggage attached to certain romantic imagery, but that does not mean those who enjoy traditional romances are engaging in internalized misogyny as well, or vice versa. Rather, this discourse reflects how modern women continuously negotiate the tension between tradition, autonomy, and fantasy. So, critiquing media patterns is essential. Shaming individual preferences is not. Otome games are considered to portray a more traditional form of courtship and romance through the lens of the female gaze, but they also give enough liberty and independence for women to express and dive into their fantasies. This raises an important question now. How far do we take feminist critique within otome spaces? Radical feminism often pushes for a complete restructuring of gendered narratives, which, while valid in its pursuits of equality, could also fundamentally alter what otome games are designed to offer. So if we radically alter the structure of otome games to cater to a more universally inclusive or radically feminist framework, for example, introducing male MCs or eliminating traditional romance tropes altogether, we also risk diluting the very genre that provides women with a dedicated space for exploring love and fantasy through a soft and often traditional lens. Now, this creates an even larger discourse that should otome games remain a space where women can engage with romantic fantasy, even if it leans on traditional tropes? Or should they evolve into a more radical, expansive expression of gender and love, even if it means that the genre loses its distinctiveness? The answer lies in understanding that feminism is not monolithic. There should be space for both traditional, soft, female-centered romance and perhaps a different, maybe boundary-pushing narrative, as long as women's autonomy, consent, and freedom to choose remain at the core. And ultimately, feminism in otome games is not about erasing weddings or fairy tales, but ensuring women can engage with these narratives in a way that affirm their autonomy. Whether a woman desires to be led down the aisle, to walk beside her partner, or to reject the aisle altogether, that choice is hers to make. And the real fantasy is not the wedding itself, but the ability to choose it or not on your own terms. As modern narratives evolve, the goal should be diversity, not restriction. Let there be room for traditional love stories and perhaps a more different type of reimaginings as well. After all, true empowerment is not about rejecting tradition, but redefining it with consent, desire, and the full autonomy of women at the center. I believe in the end, each and every one of us brings so much of diversity in the way we express our femininity and subscribe to certain aspects of tradition and feminism, and the way we express our desires and joys, that it makes the point of being a woman and, existing in this womanhood all the more beautiful and wonderful. And the comment section is open for all of you to engage in a respectful and empathetic discourse, because I believe that empathy just really truly helps us understand each other's perspective and learn from each other, and also make this world a softer, more, loving place. So feel free to do that. And I may come with a part two, because honestly, I was hoping for a little break, and I hope that nothing happens until the banner drops, because Oh my god, I need a break. I need to catch a break. Anyways, this is Nori. This is Nori signing off from Love and Deep Space Discourse. Please give me some time off. You guys stop fighting over everything. We can all coexist together. Like, let's exist in the space, right? Please. Anyways, it's Nori signing off. Lots of love to all of you. Please take care of yourselves. Stay cool and drink lots of water, hydrate, and yeah. Good night, good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world from.